Morning, guys. Today I decided to go out and walk down our railroad tracks again, see if I could find any more blackberries that are ripe. And I thought, well, heck, why not this time just take you guys along with me? We got a ways to walk because there's not really anything up this way, but I do have to be careful because with all the rain and everything that we've been having, usually because we do have the deep ditches on each side here, usually floods pretty bad, but it looks pretty clear today. And look at all the garbage along the railroad tracks. I don't know, it had to wash down here because this is something that my city doesn't even allow. They find an old cup down here, they throw a fit. But anyway, I guess, I was thinking when I was walking down through here that I got my cane with me today just in case I fall in the water again like I did the last time. Anyway, I was thinking every time I come down here on these railroad tracks, it makes me remember 1972 and 1973. Oh, wow. There's a little toy car. Good heavens to Betsy. How'd that get down here? Well, anyway, in 1972, I was 10 years old, and them dogs. We lived right downtown Rogers, Arkansas, and where we lived was about 5 blocks away from the nearest grocery store called Phillips. Well, on the other side, alright, I gotta go for just a minute, guys. But anyway, there used to be a little park up in our town called Frisco Park, and the reason they called it that is because about probably, I don't know, look at the blackberries. Hopefully I can get over there. Oh, look at these guys. Aren't those nice? Wow. All right, well, give me just a few minutes, and I'm going to pick some of these, and I'll bring you right back. All right. Got quite a nice little handful. Look at these little old bitty flowers I just spotted. I don't know what they are, but they're sure cute. Isn't that something? There's so much wild stuff down here. Look at this old railroad track pins, spikes, whatever you call them. See if we can. Man, those spikes are everywhere. If you was a iron collector, you'd make a little fortune down here. Well, here's a few more blackberries right here. I don't know if I should have brought a bag. I should have brought a bowl, but it's just easier to carry a bag, I guess. Woo, look at these. Makes it a little difficult because it's, we got that big rain yesterday, so everything out here is still soaking wet. So I got to be really careful here. Sorry about the swinging around. I got the camera around my neck, and it's kind of just swinging back and forth because I'm bent over trying to pick these berries on the bottom. Boy, those are nice. These are going to make some good jam. Or maybe even a blackberry cobbler. Who knows what I'll be in the mood to do with them. I love doing this kind of stuff. It gets me out of the... Oh, it's a dead turtle. I bet he'd probably drown. Look at a big one, too. I think I'm going to skip the blackberries right around him. All right, guys, I'll bring you back in just a few minutes. I got to kind of walk up this hill a little bit to get some of these. I'll be right back. Oh, a little turtle. He's hiding from me. With all this water and stuff down here, and it's cool, all this shade and everything, this place down through here they are just full of turtles. I mean, you'll see them everywhere. Anyway, back to my story. The train tracks run right down the middle of town, and we had Frisco Station was one of the old-time railroad stations down there. It's gone now. They tore it down. But we lived about 5 blocks from the middle of town. And the only grocery store close, we had a place called the Warehouse Market, but we always went over to this little, it was kind of like the size of a convenience store, but it was actually a grocery store. Of course, back then they were all pretty small, corner grocery stores. And you had to cross Main Street, and you had to cross railroad tracks and then cross Main Street to get to the store. And on one corner was Phillips Grocery Store, and behind it was Harris Baking Company, where they baked fresh loaves of bread every day. They used to allow you to come down there and you could go into the bakery and they would sell you a hot loaf of bread that just came out of the oven for 50 cents, and then you went next door to Phillips and you'd buy you a stick of butter. And that's what you had for lunch or snack or whatever, was hot bread and butter. But anyway, there was a street that run in front of Phillips, and then a street that run down beside it called West Walnut. And no, wait, that was Elm Street, because at the end of that street is where the Rogers Police Department was, plus the Coca-Cola bottling company was down there. But anyway, on one corner there was a big old 3-story building that was called Vincent Square, and in the bottom it had businesses like a tea room or shoes, whatever. But when you went in the door in the middle, you opened it up and there was a staircase that went up. And when you got to the top, it was just a long hallway. And I swear to God that this hallway was every bit of a quarter-mile long. And there was apartments on each side all the way down, 2-bedroom apartments all the way on both sides. Anyway, my grandmother lived in the very first one up in the front. And, of course, she was the only one that had a view of the whole town. You could see all the markets, and you could see the train station and Frisco Park and all of that. And there in Frisco Park, they used to have little benches. There wasn't anything else there, just trees and benches and stuff like that. And that's where the old men in the town used to go to sit and talk and yak and go on. And they called it the Spit and Whittle Club. And the reason they called it that is because the old men that didn't sit and whittle on sticks, they chewed tobacco and spit it everywhere. So it got the name of the Spit and Whittle Club. Anyway, when the train would leave the station, me and my cousin used to walk from our house up to the little grocery store all the time. And one day we was going up through there, and I wasn't thinking. Believe me, I wasn't thinking. The train was coming through town, right through, and when we crossed Frisco Park, me and my cousin, we were 10 years old, and I got the idea. We grabbed on. The train was going really slow, and we grabbed onto the side of that train, and we rode it down to the end of town, and then had to walk back. Well, my grandmother saw us out the window. She saw us do it. She went straight to my mom and dad. Buddy, let me tell you, I didn't think my mother was going to let go of me. I swear, I'm lucky I was alive today by the time she got done with me. She made it a point for 4 hours straight how dangerous it was, and we could have fell under the tracks. And of course, we did do it again. I'm not going to say we didn't, but we'd crawl on top of the trains, and while the train was moving, of course, it was going through town, so it'd always go really slow. And we'd run along the top of the trains, but we always made sure we was outside of sight of Vincent Square so grandmother couldn't see us. But anyway, let's get back to looking for blackberries. Well, there's just bundles of them. A lot of them are still red, so it's going to be hard trying to film some of this because every time I turn the camera on, then I run up on a bunch of them. So give me a few more minutes. Well, guys, I think I've got about all I need. And there's still just bundles of them all down through here, just miles of them. Look at those. Oh, I can't leave those. Those are huge. I probably got about half a gallon. But remember, I got some when I came down the last time I picked some. So I just want to get enough to make a blackberry cobbler, because what I have at the house now, I'm going to be using to make blackberry jelly. Whew. But let me tell you, man, it is hot down here. Guys, I'm not kidding. This hole down through here, all the way down, just blackberries. Just beautiful blackberries. See them all through here? There's a bundle of them that's look at them, just big old berries hanging there. Wow. I'm sweating like, whoo, I don't want to say. I'm hoping I can get a hold of some people today that live close here, and I can call them and let them know that the blackberries are ready. I mean, there's There's so many down through here, and they're so thick that I didn't have to get in the bushes once. I just walked through and picked what was hanging out into the open, and I got a half a gallon. And there's still just gallons of them hanging out into the open. I mean, if you're brave enough to step up into the bushes, you could probably walk away with 5 gallons just in 300 feet down through here. It wasn't hot when I first got down here. Now I'm about to burn up. And I got to get my berries home before they start squishing, because I put them in a bag before they start squishing and juice running everywhere. But that's all right. They're in a plastic bag, so the juice should. Woo, yeah, look at that juice in the bottom. Well, my gosh, people, it is hot down through here. You know, in 1978, not 78, it wasn't 78, 1980, because I just turned 18. It was about a month after Mount St. Helens had erupted in Washington. Me and my cousin decided that we were going to hitchhike from Arkansas through Washington to the Canadian border to a little town there called Tonasket. His parents had moved up there into the mountains. Beautiful, beautiful place. And we got up and woke. There goes a little lizard. Woke up one morning and decided that's the day we were going to go. No money, no car, no nothing. We just packed a couple of sets of clothes and took off. We went from Rogers, Arkansas, all the way to Tonasket, Washington in 4 days and 10 hours. And you have to remember, we were just coming out of the 70s, so hitchhiking wasn't against the law, but you had to be more aware of who picked you up and what they wanted if they did pick you up. I am not going to go into that one. But anyway, yeah, we got picked up by hippies in a van who was out trying to dig wild sage to make burners, some kind of burner things. We were offered pot by the pounds back then. We got rides from truck drivers, but we met some of the most interesting people. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But, you know, in today's world, I wouldn't do it again. Of course, I just turned 18, so it wasn't that big a deal. But when we got to Washington, we went right straight for Mount St. Helens. We were scooping up some of the ash from the volcano, putting it in envelopes, and then we would mail it back to our friends back here. And Tonasket is just not too far on the other side of Mount St. Helens. So when we got there, we was having to help his parents get on the roof with water hoses and keep the ash washed off so it didn't build up and cave their roofs in. Oh, let me tell you, when that stuff got wet and it got on your skin, it burned. Oh, it burned. But I tell you what, there were some things that when me and my cousin had gotten to Mount St. Helens, of course, you know, the military was there and you wasn't really allowed in there, but we kind of snuck around because we was trying to find a stream to take a bath in real quick before we went on. And there's things that happened and things that were said that I can't tell, I can't ever tell. But it was fun being out there with him. We did get caught by the military sneaking around trying to get in the stream, and we had hid our backpacks so we didn't have to pack them with us. Well, when we got caught, the military picked us up and took us back out to the main highway and dropped us off, and they wouldn't let us go back and get our bags. So we went from Mount St. Helens all the way to Nasket, Washington with just what we had on, and thank God we had our IDs and stuff in our short pockets and stuff, or we'd have lost everything. But I don't imagine, it's been 30, almost 40 years, so I can't imagine that the backpacks are even still there. But let me tell you something. One day I'm going to be able to sit down and talk about what we saw. And I think it's why the military had rushed us out of there, because of what we saw. Because they kept asking us what we saw, and we just kept saying, you know, creeks, streams, ash, burnt trees, burnt this, burnt that. They were out there stacking up dead bodies of the animals like elk and deer and bear and stuff like that, and they were piling them up in different piles, what they could find, because they were trying to count what kind of wildlife they lost. But like I said, one day I'll sit down and I'll talk to you guys about what we saw that day. It's just I'm not ready yet, because when we came back a few years later, my cousin talked about it. A week later, he was in a car crash that almost killed him, and they had to take out almost every bit of his intestines. And he was only in his early 30s then. And then in 2009, he had sat down and told his wife the whole story. The next day, he fell over dead. Or that's what we heard, that he was changing clothes and he just fell over dead in the house. And so I won't tell the story, not until I'm absolutely ready to leave Earth. I mean, I'm not saying it had anything to do with it, but we were told not to talk about it, not to tell the story, so I never have. I was too scared. But the closer I get to leaving Earth and going home, I will tell the story. There's a turtle again. Oh, that's a different one. He's looking at me like, give me those berries. Sorry, baby. These are mine. Go pick your own. There's enough hanging low enough. Go get you some. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this walk with me and this talk with me, because I certainly enjoyed it. And I'm hoping you guys subscribe and hit the like button. And I've been stuck at 101 for a while. I went up to 102 a couple of times and then right back down. So I'm hoping to start to get my channel to grow a little bit, because it's kind of starting to get aggravating and exhausting. But I'm going to try to stick with it. What is that? Oh, walnuts. I've seen some baby walnuts. Baby walnuts? Well, I guess that's what you'd call them. Laying there, and I thought it was some kind of little pears or something. But it's walnuts that fell off of the tree because of the storms we've been having. All right, guys. I'm going to get off here, and I hope all of you like what I do enough to maybe help me build my channel a little bit. So, all right, guys. Ooh, look at them beautiful flowers. those pretty? I hear the doves. Oh, more blackberries. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this trip with me. I sure enjoyed sharing some things with you, and I'll try to do more of that in the future. I think cooking and crafts is one of my main things, and that's what I try to share with you. And I just don't want the cooking and the crafting to get to be too much. I don't want you guys thinking, oh, another cooking video, oh, another crafting video. I'll try to keep it alive. You know, I promise you this, I will give it my best shot. But, you know, who knows what's going to happen. But I hope you guys do spread the word about me, try to help me get this channel going. I'm kind of stuck at 101 right now. And let me tell you, I sure do appreciate that first 100. Well, I appreciate that extra one too, but I never ever thought that I would get to 101. And now that I'm there, I feel stuck. So I will be trying new things. Well, gosh darn, there's a big old mulberry tree. Wow. All right, guys. Thanks for taking the walk with me, and I'll see you in a while.